So we'll start with a few words from Beijing's Sustainable Development Director.
现任北京市可持续发展领导人。现在北京面临一个重大危机，局部查云将排水系统紫外警部。雄安新区是国家的第19个新区，位于中国河北省景点，与北京市距离100个公里。
So it was our job to ensure resilience for Xiong'an, especially concentrating on their water supply. To understand why this is needed, just have a look at what happened in Beijing just last summer. There were major floodings with 50 people dead and billions of dollars in damage. To understand why these get more frequent, we have to look at the global phenomenon of climate change. And one could say 2 or 3 degrees, it doesn't matter that much in the grand scheme of things. But if you have a look at this bell curve, you'll see why it actually matters. So we have the increase in average temperature, but then we have the current extreme weather situations. So if it gets hotter, the situations that we have currently will occur more frequently, and even worse ones will start to happen. So Beijing is currently not equipped to deal with these kind of situations. There's way too much concrete, so the water can't be absorbed easily, and combined with an inadequate water system, this happens way more often, especially with ongoing climate change. So it was our mission to contribute our ideas to this new city so it can deal with this worsening situation adequately. And we did this in the city of Xiong'an. It is located 100 kilometers south of Beijing, just here. So it has a similar climate and it is faced with similar threats. Namely, these are, on the one hand, floods, which occur from June to August, and droughts, which occur during the rest of the year. And like the Sustainable Development Director said, during June to August, up to 75% of the precipitation is falling down. So we build a system that can deal with these droughts and floods equally well. And we named the system WaterWell. WaterWell is a resilient, self-sustaining residential unit comprising of 6 houses. You see it here from a top view. These 6 houses have an integrated water supply, vegetation system, and an energy generating system. You see these red solar cells. So if we zoom in, we can see the water supply close up. And it is based on 2 naturally occurring systems. The first one being rainfall, and the second one being groundwater. The link between these two is provided by WaterWell. The soil on the roof cleans the rainwater that can then be used for the households. While the water is going down, it powers a small hydroelectric power station, and the water that doesn't get used can be saved in an underground basin. The next key concept of WaterWell is the vegetation system. It provides insulation, has positive effects on the local climate, and provides a self-sustaining food source for the inhabitants. The whole vegetation system interacts with the solar energy system. The solar energy system is based on a new solar technology called perovskite solar cells. You see them just over here. And they have lots of advantages to the current photovoltaic energy system. They can be partially transparent, so some of the light can still go through and reach the plants, and they're modular, so you can, according to your needs, you can put more there or less. So the resilience we wanted to provide for Xiong'an is based on 4 factors. The first one being preparedness, with the water system providing help during droughts. The second one being adaptation. With modular solar energy system that can be scaled up and down according to your needs. The third factor is interconnection, with all these systems integrated in one residential unit. And the last factor is that the whole system is self-sustaining, with renewable energy and a sustainable food and water generating system. So all these systems and their interconnecting parts can also be scaled up and down, so it provides the perfect solution for the future of resilient and sustainable cities.
Now we live in a clean and green city.
London, Paris, Philippines, Bangladesh, Bangkok, Queensland, St. Martin, the Caribbean, Houston. In an age of global warming and extreme climate change, natural disasters and floods will become ever more frequent. Cities will be prone to them, and they will become more widespread. Your city could be next. How do we make a city more resilient against these kind of disasters? How do we not end up carrying an armadillo in knee-deep water? These are the questions we asked ourselves. Now, the modern city is a very complex and scary place. It's not just floods, no. It's earthquakes, tsunamis, hurricanes, financial disasters. All the likes, terrorist attacks, missile strikes, war. It could be anything. How do we prepare for this? How do you even start to go about answering that question? Well, the way we did it is we started with a simulation, a thought experiment. We thought of one of these disasters, simulated it in our heads, and tried to figure out how it would impact all the different factors of a city. Now, a city is a very complex system of subsystems, but we could boil it down to three main areas of social, economic, and environmental effects. Now, your academia, governments, and corporate businesses have done a pretty good job of trying to figure out the environmental and economic effects. But we believe that the social aspects have been largely neglected. Your mental health, standard of living, relationships between people, the important things, humane things. That's not to say that it's been completely neglected. No, there is a traditional grid of dealing with these issues. It consists of your government, your lawmakers, police, fire, health departments, corporate banks, all of those. But there is one missing link these days in the complex and scary city. And that's the strongest link, and that's the community. If you think about it, that makes sense. I mean, it's way easier to buy a fire truck than make people like each other. Turns out it's actually really hard to make people like each other. So how do we go about solving this issue then? How do we form strong communities to make a city more resilient? How do we form social cohesion, make people watch out for each other, out of the kindness of their hearts, out of their innate humanity? Well, our solution is civil first responders. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Come on, first responders, I know that term. That's the guys in the ambulance who rock up first to fix your bones when you've broken it. And that's nice and fair. Does a pretty good job. But we don't think it does what it's supposed to do. Not for the social cohesion. There's another main difference. Ambulance guys need lots of training. But civil first responders, it could be you, or you, or you. We're in the back there. It can be your lawmakers, your construction workers, your police officers, politicians, anyone. With a little bit of training, a little bit of push, you can be a civil first responder. Now, what is a civil first responder? In our vision, they fulfill three main tasks, which are all quite difficult in their own respect. First one, before a crisis hits, civil first responder creates social cohesion, creates a community, makes people like each other. How do you do that? Well, as an example, organize community events, make a barbecue, the good stuff. Make people know each other in a city. I mean, who even knows their neighbors anymore these days? Not many. That's what they do most of the time. Now, when a disaster hits, they do what all of you know. They rock up, try and fix your broken bones, bandage up your paper cuts, all the bad stuff. Try and make you healthy. One of the most important parts that people often forget in disaster response is the aftermath. It's not just about your health, no. It's about what's in here as well, your mental health. That's what these guys are supposed to do as well. Look out after you. Fix your traumas. Now, historically, we've already seen this. Look at that, Houston. These guys don't even know it. They don't know they're civil first responders. They've never heard the term. They do it out of the kindness of their hearts, their innate humanity. Just imagine how strong a city could be if you just gave people a bit of a push, a bit of training. Talk to them a bit about how valuable this is. A city is only as strong and as resilient as its people are. So in order to make a city more resilient, you have to start with that. Form the communities at a bottom level. And that could be any one of you.